So before we start this video, let's begin with acknowledging the savagery of Domino's Pizza UK. Tweeting this out regarding Halo Infinite. Don't worry, Chief, Domino's always delivers. I definitely have to recognize this with a tip of the hat. Well played. It's really fun when we get the meme wars going on. I really appreciate it. If you can't laugh at yourself, if you can't laugh at the situation, well, then the internet's going to be a very tough place for you to live. However, let's go ahead and dive into this video. I want to say thank you guys so much for all the well wishes, especially on my birthday. You guys were just incredible. It was great reading all those comments. It really was like, man, it really is a great community here. So I do appreciate you guys. And also for those of you who rushed over to Ginger Gaming Radio, pushing us well over 600 subscribers on our way to 1,000. If you guys haven't checked it out, please be sure to check the link in the description below. Hopefully you enjoy the podcasts and the highlights regarding all these games that we love to talk about. But that's not what this video is about. This video is titled, Is Destiny 2 the Xbox Series X's Killer App? And that verse might sound interesting or strange, but the more that I've thought about that, the more that I've just kind of reflected on what Xbox showed off, their killer app, their killer thing is Game Pass. However, as it relates to Destiny 2, Destiny 2 appears that it's not just going to run good on the Series X, it's going to run fantastic. We're talking 60 frames a second, we're talking insane load times, and we're talking Game Pass. What that does, and it's going to be weird with the current gen in the Series X having 30 frames on current, 60 frames on next, and despite what Domino's Pizza's tweeting, that's going to be a game changer for a lot of people. But you also now don't have to sit here and worry right now what's plaguing PC gamers, what's plaguing those 60 frames a second. It's a lot of cheaters, it's a lot of hackers working their way through and getting paid to carry people through trials and through whatever piece of content. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, again, go check out the podcast with Comic Storian. We have some highlights talking about like carries and buying carries. And even on, Fire Team Chat from IGN's Destiny podcast, that's a conversation that keeps coming up. So enter the console. Having a pristine experience, loading, frames, and then free. Now, I don't know if you guys spend a lot of time in comment sections on videos. And if you don't, I'm sure you're living a great life. However, one of the number one complaints when it comes down to Destiny, especially Destiny 2, is the sheer amount of expense that you have to make with the game itself. I've heard horror stories. 300, 500, depends on where your wallet falls. If you've been playing for the last 7 years like I have, and you've been buying every expansion, and you've been buying the collector's edition of every expansion, and there's even a super collector's edition, I'm not going that far, but beyond that, like over the course of the time, you've spent a lot of money on this one franchise and experience. And maybe it's been worth it, maybe it hasn't, maybe that is worth it and it hasn't, has fluctuated depending on what year it is, or hell, what season Destiny is in at the time. So here we stand, and I can tell you, hey, you Game Pass, go play Destiny. Because not only do we see the current, like it says, Forsaken and Shadowkeep drop into Game Pass, I think September 11th or something like that, but also Beyond Light. You're not going to have to pay to be current for this game. The only thing that you can pay extra for is their season pass, or the season itself. We'll cover that, and we'll talk more about that as that evolves, because one of the things I've really struggled with over the last year was Destiny Seasons model. I kind of went more into it in another video. Check the Destiny 2 playlist linked in the the description of this. But beyond that, this is, I think, going to be a great way for gamers who enjoyed this game to not have to sit here and fork over so much money to continue to enjoy it, because I really sincerely believe Destiny is best experienced in sprints and in various blocks. It's good to take a break and step away and go play other games. Destiny is a game that can absorb you, just like Final Fantasy, just like any of these long-running games as a service games. And this is kind of where it all comes to a head, where it comes in the concept of Halo Infinite. I'm sure that there's a chance that the title of this video, the subject of this video, might upset somebody who's watching or listening to these words, because Halo Infinite should be the killer app. But it won't be. It can't be because it's on current gen, it's on next gen, and ideally it should run its best on next gen, hands down. But it's also on PC, so is Destiny, right? You know, it's like all of these things, Microsoft is not, you know, they'll totally sell you a Series X. They're not going to prevent that. But they're more interested in you being a part of Game Pass. And when I look at Destiny itself, running probably the best that it can on Series X and PlayStation 5 from a console perspective, with not having to worry about right now the PC cheaters, next year is going to be a whole different subject to this video. So if you're watching this 2021, crossplay officially comes with the Witch Queen. We'll have to evaluate this video differently at that time. But let's sit here and just focus in on this for this year alone, for Beyond Light alone. Not having to worry about cheaters, not having to worry about continuing to spend money. Literally such a value in Game Pass already, even with Halo Infinite. Imagine if it's great. Imagine if you just love it and you can't stop playing it. That's fantastic. Imagine Halo Infinite and Destiny bouncing between the two as content wanes in Destiny, as you're waiting for the next drop in Destiny. Oh, you're jumping into Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite's also somewhat teasing itself as a games as a service game. More things to cover there. We haven't seen the multiplayer. That's the thing for me. Like, while I touched on it, like, while I'm excited for Series X, while I'm excited for the next Halo, the thing that I'm most curious about, the thing they didn't even talk about, is multiplayer. Why should I keep coming back to Halo week over week, day over day? I'm more thinking that Destiny is just going to suck me back in, as it always has, and at least as it has for the last 7 years. I think that's just the beauty of Domino's, the beauty of memes, the beauty of this entire conversation. But let's just take this to my personal friends, those that I game with the most. I have struggled time and time again to get them into Destiny. There's a yearly cost to Destiny. It's like while Destiny isn't quote unquote a subscription based game, ESO isn't quote unquote a subscription based game. We've seen subscription based games kind of fall away, but we are also seeing big yearly content drops. It's basically like them saying, and we're asking for your subscription fee all at once. And with it, you get all of this extra content. Plus, then they have other ways to kind of bridge the gap between. So here we are. And now I have to say, or especially because everybody that I know right now has Game Pass, I can say, yeah, let's go play some Destiny. Let's go play some custom. Let's go do this. Let's remove that barrier. And then I'm thinking, again, the killer app aspect is that it is such a big game. It is such a deep game. If you can take that sting away, because no matter what, at some point in your Destiny 2 career, you're going to find yourself really not interested in playing. And if they can take away that sting of how much did I invest in this? How much did I spend on this? And just allow you to kind of come and go as you please, is all a part of your Game Pass. In reality, Game Pass is what Microsoft is about. And what their 1 hour presentation showed was Game Pass, Game Pass, Game Pass. I'm really surprised that I haven't seen more people speak about that. And maybe they are, and they're just not in my feed. If you know any good content creators out there making good stuff, be sure to let me know, because it's hands down the best way you can think a content creator is actually recommending their stuff to other people. YouTube does not. Like, I don't think I've discovered anybody that I've discovered because YouTube has told me about them. It's always been through somebody saying, hey, you know what you should check out? You should check out Game Theory. You might like those videos. Oh, okay. Well, turns out I do. That's what I mean by it. So anyway, everybody in my circle that I have heard, no one's praising Game Pass and what Microsoft is truly trying to become. And the fact that they got the Destiny contract or whatever they did, it's kind of poetic in terms of the Activision split, in terms of Bungie being a part of Xbox, moving off, creating Destiny, this incredible game that I think has really outshined Halo, like over the last couple years. You're welcome to disagree. I'm on, disagreement's completely welcome here. And then to come back and now actually, while not being owned by Xbox, I'm sure there was an offer. I'm sure there was some numbers tossed around to come back and be a part of kind of that ecosystem in a way. Ultimately, at the end, and kind of my final thought before we wrap up this video, and I do thank you for being here this entire time and listening to these words, is I wonder what, if anything, Halo learned from Destiny. And I know There's people out there who don't want Halo to be Destiny. I'm not advocating for Halo to be Destiny, but I'm advocating for Halo to have a deeper, wider, I guess more hook, for lack of a better term, in my lexicon as a part of Game Pass. I'm not going to be purchasing Halo. I've already purchased Destiny on on other platforms. So in this case, Destiny 2 with Series X probably will bring me back to gaming Destiny on Series X, and it's going to make it a greater need for that crossplay, because I know a lot of people have shifted to PC gaming, and the question is that will this level out? What's this going to ultimately look like going forward? So anyway, those are my thoughts, especially as it relates to Destiny. If you guys have any questions, any comments, or any thoughts you have of your own, looking forward to reading them in the comments below. I really appreciate all of the conversation that we've been having here on the channel as of late. If you have any questions about Destiny and you're struggling with the game in some way, and my Destiny guides haven't, kind of like really got you there, let me know in the comments so I can hopefully help try to make Destiny's experience and its gameplay the best it could possibly be. There's a lot of needless or a lot of things out there that sometimes the game does that it isn't immediately clear why. So anyway, those are that's the video. Thanks for being here. If you made it all the way to the end, let me know. Current gen, next gen, Dominoes, yes or no? How do they do? I really appreciate the meme. It's so classic. It's so good. But anyway, guys, I love you. I love you faces. Thanks for watching. This has been Brian for Ginger Prime. Hopefully you're having a great day, and hopefully I'll see you in my next video. But until then, take care.